Welcome to Race Talks with Retonia. This is Retonia Brashear, and today we're going to be talking about centering whiteness. See you in a minute.
Oh, say, can you see? That's what they want us to believe in so blindly. But we got to take a stance and start talking about the truth and the facts. So, let's chat. Race Talks with Retonia. Race Talks with Retonia. Yeah, Race Talks with Retonia.
And here we go. Let's just jump right into this, centering whiteness. And you may ask, what does that mean? Well, one of the definitions is focusing on those things that we called normal or American. And what's behind that is whiteness, centering around whiteness. Everything focused about the majority culture. If you are the majority culture, then you are more important than those people that are around you. Racism continues and is continually perpetrated in our society because we tend to think that if you are white, that everything is about you. And not necessarily you specifically, but you collectively, right? So white supremacy continues to be the center of American culture. It is done by subtle messaging. It is done by casual or overt things that happen in our systems and in our institution. The practice of whiteness is something that can be extremely frustrating to people of color. Trying to be heard, trying to share with others about the racisms and the disparities that we may encounter on a regular basis, daily, every time we walk out the door in this country. And even though we're not trying to be a victim, but these things are put in our way every day. They're obstacles that we have to confront on a regular basis. For instance, take social media. So say you post something about something that's happening in the world today, and it gathers around racism, right? And then one of your friends of the majority culture comes and says to you, "Oh, well, why would you say that? It's really not that bad. Please don't continue to pull the race card." So every time we begin to share our heart or our disparities, we are told that we shouldn't do that we should just all get along. That's very interesting. We need to understand that given the racism in this time, it is hard to necessarily be heard in a way where people truly do understand you. A lot of times we have to speak loud. A lot of times we have to protest. A lot of times we have to stand up and resist so that we can have attention drawn to the issues. Centering whiteness is when we always wrap it back around to the majority culture, or quote, what we say normal. We always wrap it back around. We always bring the focus back in on the majority culture instead of dealing with the things at hand. One of the ways to help us not do that is to truly begin to get educated about the racism in this country, to truly understand how the past affects the present and definitely the future. We need to work toward dismantling racism in this country and stop centering around whiteness. Another thing that we do under this heading is called police toning. And police toning is very interesting, and it's also very subtle. A lot of times we can be talking about a situation and a friend will say to you, "Are you sure that happened? Oh, you shouldn't be so sensitive. Why are you getting so angry? Why don't you calm down?" All of these things, and what they tend to do is take away from the fact of what you are talking about and start talking about how you're saying it instead of what you're saying. And that's called police toning. And it is very aggressive. It may not seem that way, but it is. Saying things like, "You are too angry. Why are you such an angry person? Why are you always focusing on the negative? We need to bring things together. Why do you always talk about justice?" But we need to understand that when that kind of thing is done, it is centering whiteness. And so what we should do as people of color and awoke people who are white, we need to push back on that. We need to say, you know what? We're not going to do that today. We are not going to center in the areas that is not our concern. And what I mean by that, you're not going to talk about how I talk. We're going to talk about what I'm saying. Hear me, listen to me. Understand what I'm saying. How can we move forward? Continue to keep your ears open. Continue to listen to people around you. And when you see white centering, of course you would never say that to someone, but when you see white centering, bring it back around. Say, you know what, we're going to come back to the situation. We're going to talk about the disparities in this country. I believe that if we get together and come together, we can definitely change the way our country is going. We can definitely move forward toward more unity and toward more inclusiveness. Thank you so much. Have a great day.